Suffixes are an essential part of English grammar. They are letters or groups of letters added to the end of words to change their meaning or function. By adding suffixes, you can form new words, change word types, and even alter tenses or aspects of a word. Understanding and mastering suffixes can significantly improve your vocabulary and help you identify word meanings more easily. Suffixes can alter the meaning of a word, helping us change adjectives to nouns, verbs to nouns, and more. They also help identify the part of speech and expand our vocabulary. Knowing suffixes improves our reading and writing skills. To learn suffixes effectively, group them by word type, use flashcards, practice with word games, read and analyze words, and understand word families. These tips will help you recognize and master suffixes. When using suffixes, be aware of spelling changes, pronunciation changes, and how suffixes change the grammatical function of a word. These rules ensure proper usage and accuracy. In addition to basic rules, there are several other important rules to keep in mind when working with suffixes. These rules help ensure proper spelling, pronunciation, and grammatical accuracy. When adding suffixes to words ending in e, drop the e if the suffix begins with a vowel. Keep the e if the suffix begins with a consonant. Some words retain the e even when the suffix begins with a vowel. For words ending in y, change y to I if the word ends in a consonant plus y before adding the suffix. Keep the y if the word ends in a vowel plus y. Some words retain the y even after a consonant. Double the final consonant if a word ends in a single vowel plus consonant and the suffix begins with a vowel. Do not double the consonant if the word ends in two vowels plus a consonant or has more than one syllable. Add ak if a word ends in c and the suffix begins with e, I, or y to maintain the hard k sound. Change ie to y if a word ends in ie before adding ing. For words ending in ue, drop the e before adding a suffix. For words ending in ll, drop one l before adding a suffix. Add ak if a word ends in ic before adding a suffix that begins with e, I, or y. Keep the final e if a word ends in ee or o before adding a suffix. Add s if a word ends in s, ss, sh, ch, x, or z instead of s. Change f to v if a word ends in f or fe before adding s. Changes to I if a word ends in is before adding a suffix. Changes to s if a word ends in is before adding a suffix. Change on to a if a word ends in on before adding a suffix. Change to a if a word ends in before adding a suffix. Change x or ix to ices if a word ends in x or ix before adding a suffix. These rules provide a comprehensive guide to using suffixes correctly in English. Practice exercises to master suffixes include filling in the suffix, matching words with the correct suffix, and sorting words into nouns, adjectives, and verbs. Here's a comprehensive list of suffixes that form nouns, often representing people, things, or concepts. Examples include ment, ity, and ants. Suffixes like ship, dom, hood, ism, ology, east, ewer, and ness form nouns that describe states, conditions, practices, ideologies, and results. These suffixes form adjectives, describing qualities or characteristics. Examples include able, ooze, full, less, ic, and ow. Suffixes like al, li, ive, ish, ant, airy, and eous form adjectives that describe qualities, characteristics, and states. Verb suffixes are essential in forming verbs that indicate an action or process. For example, ate means to make or cause to become, as in activate. Similarly, ify or fy means to make or become, like simplify. These suffixes help us understand the function and meaning of verbs in sentences. Adverb suffixes help describe how an action is performed. For instance, li indicates the manner of an action, as in quickly. Ward or wards shows direction, like forward. These suffixes are crucial for adding detail and clarity to our descriptions. In addition to verb and adverb suffixes, there are common suffixes for nouns and adjectives. For example, ee refers to one who receives an action, like employee. Out pertains to or relates to something, such as musical. Understanding these suffixes can enhance our comprehension and usage of various words. Let's dive into a Year 6 UKSAT style exercise focusing on key English grammar skills, including suffixes, punctuation, and comprehension. We'll start with suffixes and word formation, where you'll choose the correct suffix to complete sentences and form new words. Next, we'll tackle punctuation. You'll add the correct punctuation to sentences, ensuring clarity and proper structure. This exercise will help you understand the importance of punctuation in writing. Now, let's move on to comprehension. Read the passage carefully and answer the questions that follow. This exercise will test your ability to understand and interpret written text. Here are the answers to the exercises on suffixes, punctuation, and comprehension. Review your responses and compare them with the correct answers to gauge your understanding and progress. Let's continue with another exercise on suffixes and word formation. Complete the sentences by choosing the correct suffix and forming new words. This will further enhance your understanding of how suffixes work. We'll now focus on punctuation again. Add the necessary punctuation to the sentences provided. This practice will reinforce your skills in structuring sentences correctly. Next, we'll work on vocabulary and context. Choose the word that best completes the sentence and identify the opposite of a given word. This exercise will help you expand your vocabulary and understand word meanings in different contexts. Let's move on to another comprehension exercise. Read the passage and answer the questions to test your understanding of the text. Pay attention to the details and context provided. Here are the answers to the recent exercises on suffixes, punctuation, and comprehension. Check your work against these answers to see how well you did and where you might need improvement. As a bonus, let's work on sentence structure. Rearrange the words to form a correct sentence and choose the correct verb form to complete another sentence. This exercise will help you understand sentence construction and verb usage. These exercises cover a wide range of suffixes and test your understanding of their usage in context. They are designed to align with the kinds of questions found on the Year 6 SATs, helping you practice and prepare effectively. Let's start with an exercise on filling in the suffix. Complete the sentences by choosing the correct suffix to form new words. This will help you understand how suffixes change the form and meaning of words. Next, we'll choose the correct suffix to complete sentences. This exercise will test your ability to identify and use the appropriate suffix for different words, enhancing your grammar skills. Now, let's focus on word formation and suffix usage. Write the correct form of the word using the given suffix and choose the suffix that matches the meaning of another word. This practice will deepen your understanding of how suffixes work. Finally, let's do a comprehension exercise with suffix context. Read the passage and answer the questions, focusing on how suffixes are used within the text. This will help you see the practical application of suffixes in reading comprehension. Here are the answers to the exercise on filling in the suffix. Review your responses and compare them with the correct answers to understand your progress and areas for improvement. Next, we have the answers to the exercise on choosing the correct suffix. Check your work against these answers to see how well you understood the use of suffixes in different contexts. Here are the answers to the exercise on word formation and suffix usage. Review your responses and compare them with the correct answers to gauge your understanding of suffixes. Finally, we have the answers to the comprehension exercise with suffix context. Check your work against these answers to see how well you understood the passage and the use of suffixes within it.